What's up, traders? How y'all doing? This is a trading vlog where I'm going to talk about my own trading. I'm going to talk about psychology, things for me to improve on, and so on. I'm on my way to an all-day adventure tour today, and the major change in my life is I started the dolphin tours, which I talked to you guys about. So between the dolphin tours and the adventure tours and my online business, I'm gonna make more than enough that I don't need to trade to make money, and losing at trading will have zero effect in my lifestyle. And I'm already feeling that it's making trading a little bit less stressful so that I can get back to focusing on playing the game well instead of making money. Instead of being really mad if I lost or stressed if I lost because, I'm not going to have enough money. Instead, I can think about, like, what did I do wrong here, if anything? And so that's putting me in a good place. So that's something that I'm really happy about. The dolphin tours don't pay particularly well, but it's part-time and I'm gonna make like a couple grand a month off that. The hiking tours pay a lot better. I'll make $500 for today roughly, which is not atypical. I'll probably make in a couple days a week, like I can make 2 to 3, maybe 3,000. I think last month I made 3,000 with very little overhead, and then online business another 1,000. It's conceivable I make 5-6 grand, and my cost of living is like 3,000, 3,500. Pretty cheap cost of living for a great life. So all that to say is that psychologically it's putting me into a better state where I'm also busier, I'm more active, I'm more around people, and it's letting me focus on my trading a little bit more. So scheduling's tough because I have less time to check now. It's okay. I've, just to make things simpler, trading only crypto, and also so that my risk is more easier to quantify and control. So I was trading indices for a little bit, and I was trading I'm just trading crypto. Let's just go over a number of different. Well, let's start with some things that I've done well recently, and that is I had one really great trade with Bitcoin where I saw a reverse sentiment play that looked really strong. Everybody was saying price couldn't rally, and it wouldn't rally, and everybody was showing up short. So I went heavy long, and I closed near the top because the reverse started to happen, and it was a huge win. But I've since, in just 4 days, given a lot of that back. So I've made a couple errors. The first one is there were some short signals on altcoins that I did not take that would have worked amazing. And I didn't take them because I was in the Bitcoin long and was like married to this idea of higher prices for everything. But yeah, I was kind of blind and I think my target was too high with Bitcoin, where I was like, I'm going to try to hold this to all-time highs, when I did a good job of switching eventually, but I was reluctant. And I actually got out near the high, but my reluctance caused me to long the decline. And this is emotional, where I kind of knew these are not good trades, but I had the thought that, well, it will be more painful if price rallies and I'm not with it than if price dumps and I lose money. And I'm like, it would be more painful to not make money than to lose money. It was kind of stupid. It's kind of stupid thinking, right? Where it's like the chart's telling me to get out, but I'm afraid that price is going to rally anyways, and that I'm not with it. So it was just dumb, right? So I took a couple losses and gave some back. And also there was my favorite counter sentiment trader is Tarted Degen Gambler, who after losing everything took a month off crypto, and he got back in and posted about it at the exact top and lost everything in a day again. And that also should have been an exit signal and a short signal for me. Now I made another error. This one's more of a strategy error than an emotional error, and this is something that I want to change in my strategy a little bit, where price came down and it flushed. So was $280 million of longs liquidated, 300 million longs liquidated in one move. It was a really sharp move, which means there's a great chance of mean reversion. And I looked, and funding again is negative. Everybody's short. There's a lot of fear. So that is a long opportunity, yeah. And I feel that I'm supposed to long there. Okay. The problem was I just longed, and threw my stop loss at the low, and I'm looking at the chart afterwards, and I'm like, you know what? Bitcoin is being really weak compared to the rest of the market. Well, particularly compared to ETH. ETH is so beaten down. I don't want to long ETH, but I'm looking at ETH. ETH is more negative funding than Bitcoin, so it's a better funding play. It also came to a place in the chart, a better place in the chart to long. Like Bitcoin came kind of to a random place, flushed to a random place. ETH came to a very longable place in the chart. And that ETH was already making higher highs and higher lows compared to Bitcoin. But I was long Bitcoin anyways. I'm already in Bitcoin at this point, actually, and I'm watching. And I'm having the thought that I should probably be in ETH instead of Bitcoin. Because Bitcoin is likely to sweep the low here. There's a good chance it does. And if Bitcoin sweeps the low, ETH probably won't. It'll probably just poke at the low. So I should probably be in ETH instead, or maybe have a limit order. And again, emotional thought is, well, it's more painful emotionally for a price to pump and I'm not in the trade than to take a loss at the low. But it's like, well, what's likely to happen is it's likely to sweep the low here. Usually when there's an extreme move, not always, but usually when there's an extreme move, the local higher low gets swept at least once. Not always, but often. And in this case, especially the weaker asset is likely to do it. So what I should have done, and this isn't based on just hindsight but what was suggested in the charts, and also what I considered but didn't do, was ETH, I should close my Bitcoin long, and I should long ETH instead, if I want my stop at the low. I should not have my stop at the low in Bitcoin. I should take a half position and run my stop double wide. Or I should limit order at the low, okay? So one of the things that I've been thinking about that I want to get back into is using limit orders. Because I can see sometimes there's a great opportunity, but not a great entry. And I want, especially if it's overnight, I'm going to be asleep during New York, I want to run my stop wide, or I want to put my limit entry where my stop would normally be. So this is one of those times where I'm sure you've experienced it. I put my stop at the perfect entry, and lo and behold, I wake up and it basically wicked me out and then just moved back, and I'm forced to re-enter. I don't have to re-enter, but it's still a valid trade. It's not a revenge trade because the chart is showing the same thing. Actually, since it failed to break down, it's actually a better setup now. And because we're closer to the low, it's a better setup now. and funding is still negative. It's a better setup now. I should re-enter. But and if I didn't have the Dolphin job, maybe I wouldn't, but I am. So I take the trade, whatever, we'll see what happens from here. But it would be a lot easier if I had ran my stop wider, or actually if I was in ETH instead of being stopped out, I would be in profit. So those are some small things, and I do feel good that yes, I'm gonna make enough money from working my jobs, and I'm gonna be really busy, and it's allowing me to focus a little bit more on just playing the game rather than trying to make money. Like, how do I play the game right? What's the optimal strategy, the correct thing to do? So there's some things I need to continue cleaning up. Should have taken those short signals. The Bitcoin entry and exit for the big trade was awesome. I made like 5R off it, 4R, so it's afforded me to make a number of mistakes. There's also something psychological about this particular crypto account. I funded it with about 10 grand, and I've ran it up from 10 to 20 in the last couple months and round tripped it so many times, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. And I'm thinking that it could be because I start trading differently when I've doubled the account, where like I try to parlay it more, or like I'm not as cautious. Like, I can afford to lose it, take bigger positions. So yeah, not too sure what to think about that. I did have the thought that every time I get to 20, for now I just pull out 10 and go back to 10. And then I go back to trading more cautious. So yeah, I have different thoughts and things going on, but I feel like I'm on the right track in life, most importantly. And trading is now just a part of that instead of the main thing. So yeah, I'm making time for it every day, but just have too many other things going on, and I don't have to rely on it. So yeah, hope you find that useful. Again, it's just a vlog. I don't really not talking about you, but maybe there's some things you can learn from it. Okay, appreciate y'all. Much love. Peace.